like this? Like this. How many dudes you know roll like this? How many dudes you know flow like this? Hey, Fetty, not many. Hey, Fetty, how many dudes you know got skills to go and show like this? I don't know anybody.
This is so exclusive for you fucking listen to this right now. This shit's not even come out for another 3 months. I shouldn't even be playing it. I'm just to show up. Nah.
He was always this magnetic personality, even in primary school. We're a year and a half apart, so we were always in school together.
Hey yo! Yeah. Hey yo, New Zealand styles! Yeah!
He was a singer, he was an actor, he was, you know, my hero. Hip hop, you the love of my life. It's like, oh, sounds so nice. And hip hop, you the love of my life. It's like, oh, I don't really know if that's really right, but.
Play the beat, please. It sounds so nice. Hip hop, you the love of my life.
Sounds so nice. Just lower, you mean?
Nah, mine's low, but to you it's not as low as you.
Oh, sounds so nice, and you're the love of my. You're the love of my, oh, sounds so nice, and you're the love of my, you're the love of my.
I heard about it back in '86 when I went to school with Voodoo Child, Specs, Femme, and Lady Six.
So it's done by Spix. Spix is Lady Six's older sister.
What more can you say? Describe this man. I knew he had something. I guess everyone calls it the X Factor.
My brother told me, you know, he wanted to be a rapper and that. I don't think I sniggered, bro. I just thought, wow, not gonna happen.
It's just him being in love with music. You could just tell there was a passion for it.
He just had all this charisma, stage presence. His raps were really good, like his rhymes were on. We met, I think, like 22 years ago or something like that. 99, young guys.
This is fucking my boys, Ali, Severe, and Shan.
The first time I heard Scribe perform, and I just remember being frozen in space there for a moment, just hearing him and hearing his rhyme.
Straight away, he just had this command of the stage, a stage presence and a delivery that cut through.
This kid was supremely talented and had an absolute gift.
We'd all driven down to Dunedin to hook up with DJ Shan and play a gig at Bath Street. And P Money pulls out a tape and says, "Oh, I make beats." And we were like, oh, because he was the New Zealand DMC champ at the time, and we were like, what?
I knew I needed a partner to do this music with, because I had the music, but I didn't have the voice. And so I did not, in my wildest dreams, did I ever think I was gonna meet the next greatest New Zealand rapper in Christchurch.
And then we're gonna head down to Real Groovy, do an install for P Money's album. Check it out. Sign some autographs. Smile, kiss some babies. Try and help make some more units. But watch out, cause
I brought him in the studio and I was like, okay, what do you got? And he's like, oh, that beat, that slow one you had, that one, and then that rock one. I was like, okay, cool. Which one we want to do first? I was like, do the rock one. And then we did stand-up.
my favorite track, gotta say, is the new rock and roll shit. It's gonna be the first single and the first video.
Yeah, we're filming a video for the new Scribe single on Wednesday. All you people are invited to be in it, but you have to do one thing. You have to email scribevideo@hotmail.com.
Here we go, first scene. So take and then do it.
Just go hard. We'll shoot this one, so just enjoy it.
All right, man.
100%.
All right.
Oh, it's gonna be bad, eh? Yeah. Wow, I can't wait for his album. Oh man, this is just the start.
Crusader is coming.
The Crusader's coming, man.
I thought I told y'all we can't stop now. New Zealand hip hop, stand the fuck up. We got it locked down.
Reaching #1 with his first solo single, rising star MC Scribe has just released his new album.
When Crusader dropped, that was untouchable kind of shit. Like, I don't think we've seen another hip hop artist come out like that.
Scribe and P Money!
first artist to get the #1 single and #1 album at the same time and hold the record for it.
I'm still writing, I'm still fighting, and we can't turn back now because we came so far.
I just remember being so proud. I knew he was going to be a star.
Scribe, the Crusader.
Let's keep hip-hop in the heart, yo. Basically, hip-hop is the voice of the next generation.
New Zealand hip-hop took a long time to get to where it is today. And the guy that really fast-tracked it was Scribe.
He's the shining star of the New Zealand music scene at the moment.
I don't think New Zealand's ever seen anything like this before. I'm so overwhelmed that the day has come and that people won't laugh when I say I'm a rapper.
Hip-hop artist Scribe is now facing court action of a domestic nature, delaying his sentencing today for a drugs conviction.
I'm not the young man filled with optimism that wrote Dreaming and Not Many. I've been to hell. I've fucking been to jail. I've been on the edge of darkness and wanting to end my life.
Yeah, it was scary to watch him go through what he was going through and watch it from a distance. And you know, we lost contact, I guess, for a good amount of time.
My soul is why I'm still the same person. Y'all see me walk away once I have my baby girl. To tell the truth, my time with her, I wouldn't trade that for the world. And I believe in God, he's the man to me for real. Without him, I doubt that I would even be here still. Cause I was on a path to destruction on that highway to hell. But only those who walk my road can really tell. But don't you worry about a damn thing. Hey.
It had been over a decade since P Money and I have been in the studio together. Because when I was a drug addict, I cut all my healthy relationships.
It does feel like an appropriate time to have that conversation about making new music and to just get in the studio, create some things, or just throw some ideas back and forth and just have some fun with it.
I believe this is going to be my last album. I've really put like the last 10 years of my life into this album. The stories and the experiences that I've had, the heartbreak that I've felt, all the things that I've been through as in this album.
It's amazing. I've seen a hunger in him that maybe he had put on hold for a little bit.
Someone call my squad, 30 records, that's my team. I waited since the day I got expelled from Western Springs. Back when I was 17, now I'm about to get them dreams. In the lab, cooking songs up like it's methamphetamine. Everybody
So I think it was P Money that hit me up and said that Scribe had some new music that he wanted to share, and that it was just gonna be like me, Mello, and 10A.
10A, G? He just pulled that beat out yesterday, G.
Me coming in here, sitting down and just watching Scribe on P Money, working just like back 20 years ago.
Yeah, nice, bro. Wicked. That's a nice touch. That's gonna be good when you get that rest of it on there.
Yeah, I've got another verse for that, so we'll lay that after this.
Yep.
I'm like a fly on the wall, just observing, just admiring, and just kind of soaking up game from these guys.
Seeing him happy again and excited about music was great. I feel like he's got a lot to say. Like, he's just a creative dude, and, you know, he's good at interpreting his life into song.
To them, bro.
I like that, bro.
Good men, G. The Kings! Kings and Vince have come through. It's really been a really enjoyable experience for both Pete and I, getting fresh perspectives to what the next generation, how their mind works.
Yeah, man, to be called up to even be a part of something like this with Scribe and Pete, Vince, I have to go humble myself after, you know, and make sure that I'm grounded, you know, the other dudes.
That's my son. That's my son.
That's his boy singing.
Yeah. Chips in my bed, we done gotta go if you wanna leave.
That's probably the best thing I love about him, and that he's just unapologetic. He knows what he wants, but he also has this side of him that's actually quite vulnerable and soft.
But check this, I'll play you know that song I did, the Girl one? Yeah, I'll play P Money's one.
I can just say something, cause if you comfortable.
It's real new, I just wrote it like last week, put it down. Still got heaps of work to do, but so I listen to it all the time. Trying to figure it out.
More than any word could tell you. More than every drink of sand that
always felt like I didn't deserve this, that I'm shit. So I set out to destroy Scribe, destroy people's image of me.
Kia ora, good evening. The rapper known as Scribe is due to appear in a Wellington court tomorrow, accused of drugs and arms offences.
What are you going to plead? Is there anything you want to say before you head into court this afternoon?
The chart-topping hip-hop star's battle with addiction has never been secret, his family conceding he's had his troubles.
That's why I didn't want them to get into the entertainment industry, you know. I knew it was going to happen, you know. It was just a matter of time.
People were, you know, giving him stuff all the time and he was just taking it, and it did become a real worry.
Yeah, things just went off the rails, man. It was like, at a certain point, it was hard to get back on track. Yeah, I still have a lot of issues. I could get these, through the years, get these calls like, you want to do a Scribe show? And sometimes I'd say no. I don't know what version of Scribe's going to turn up at the show. Is he going to be really high, or is he going to be intoxicated? Is he going to be aggressive? Is he going to be just, like, difficult? Is he going to do something crazy that, you know, makes me uncomfortable? I don't know.
Don't worry. Said I've been doing this a long time, some would say the longest. All them hard times I overcame made me the strongest. I would never lie to you, that's just me being honest. Cause every star shines before it dies. I'm Haley's comic, that's cause I be coming back, and that's a motherfucking promise.
I like this. It's fitting. It's very metaphorical because I've had to fight to be here. I've had to fight to be who I am. I'm the youngest of 3 brothers. My oldest brother, Chinari Lufutu, and my middle brother, Julian Lufutu. My brother Julian, he was born with cerebral palsy and severe epilepsy. I wouldn't say that my mum didn't want me, but she didn't plan on having me. And she was on the injection and the pill, and much to her surprise, when she found out she was pregnant. So, you know, I fought hard to be here.
When I carried him, it was like no smoking, no drinking, no anything, you know. It was like I just wanted him to have the best possibility of developing, more so when I was using with the 2 older boys. He was born with all his legs and arms, and he was a healthy baby.
When Marlo was born, I was in jail. I was about 6 months into my leg.
My dad's a heroin dealer, original member of the King Cobra gang. I met him when I was 5.
I requested to go out and visit him when he was born, and I was able to do that. I walked over to see the baby, and one of the screws that was handcuffed to me says, he's got a lot of hair. That's what I remember about him, but yeah, I was sad for Carol and sad about my situation.
So here we are in Aotearoa, Christchurch, on the east side. This is where I grew up. This house is where most of my childhood was, and most of the trauma, really, that I sustained, and my brother and my mother. Everyone on the street had it hard, and all our dads got along, and they were all users and drinkers and gang affiliates.
We were really close growing up. We only lived like maybe a street away.
Wainoni or Carisbrook Street, Aranui. It was a pretty close-knit community.
Hey, Carisbrook, that's a click. We grew up together, not having shit. Now that we grown, we ain't having it. Now we don't have to imagine it. Yeah, we used to be broke as shit, and all that they gave us was hopelessness. At the top, that top door was locked, till I stepped up and opened it.
It was poor, like none of us were rich. And there wasn't a lot of brown people.
Growing up in Christchurch as just a brown person was dangerous.
There's always been a bit of an undertone of casual racism.
We had these crazy, fully grown, skinhead guys with swastikas and cars and dogs hunting us down daily.
He was off to school one day and he came running in home because these two skinheads were chasing him.
Unfortunately, I lost one of my best friends, Matu Guidi. He was killed by a skinhead when we were teenagers.
He got killed in the park and...
He was my friend's son.
I remember the night of his funeral, we paraded down Colombo Street and we wreaked havoc. Him being murdered was the catalyst for us going Hundi.
He didn't view the world as innocent like he used to.
That night you got stabbed in town. I didn't eat, I didn't sleep. Me and Shane hit the street and turned the city upside down. And I miss when it was you and me. We ain't close as we used to be. But in life you never get what you want, but you always get what you need. So just breathe.
There used to be a swastika flag in that window over there. And I remember when I was little not knowing what that flag meant until I got a little bit older. Had my first confrontation with them over there. It all happened right here. I had a fight with a kid on this hill. And this hill used to be like a mountain. I can't believe how small it is. I think I was 8. My brother he would have been 11.
One time my brother was being chased by skinheads through the park and he come running over the hill.
And my dad had this sawn-off shotgun. And my brother grabbed the shotgun. He's like, yeah, let's go. And it was loaded too.
I have a second thought. That's all I knew was my brother was in trouble, so I grabbed the gun and ran and met them.
We were standing here, facing that alleyway, and these 3 fully grown skinheads with swastikas came out of the alley.
And they were grown men, they had this dog.
They came up right up to the bottom of the thing. My brother pulled the shotgun on them, pointed at them, and they just stood there. They're like, you fucking niggers.
And he said, oh, what, it's only a 2-shot? I said, well, I'll shoot the dog first.
Me and my brother stood there and I just looked up at my brother like, you're the toughest.
I think that came down to when Dad went to prison. He sort of told me to look after the family in the house, and from what I'd learned and seen, I just thought, you know, that was the way.
Yeah. Flashback to 86. Come at me, younger me. White socks and kung fu kicks. One strap on my dungarees. Was not like the other kids, cause I never swung from trees. Yeah, me and my brother did all the craziest shit you would not believe. When he was 10, I was 6. We were stealing my father's weed. We were selling it to the teens, cause boy, we was hungry. Straight to the east, running free. Ain't nobody daddy rich. My cousins live up the street. Y'all know Specs Fam and Lady 6. Hey.
I went to school with Lady 6 and her sisters and her brothers and my brother. And we were like the family of the school. We were like the Partridge family of the school. My teachers, Dame Aotearoa Cross and Terry Whitley, they really pushed us to the forefront to be performers. So from a very young age, I really loved singing.
You could do Elvis, you could just sing, tell jokes.
You know, he was always an actor and always an entertainer. He used to take this comb and he used to do like the moonwalk and then like comb his sides of his hair. I just thought he was the coolest kid out.
And he was always witty. I remember one time we were in the car and I said, hey bro, do you know you're adopted? He turned and goes, hey, do you know Dad's your real dad? And I got so upset.
Back when I was little, my older brother, he was like my hero. He was like my father to me. We went on many adventures. And I remember my brother putting me through a window and saying, oh, I've got to mow their lawns. Like, he's supposed to leave the key out. Can you open up the door? So he put me through this window and I opened up the door and my brother robbed the house. And we went and played video games all afternoon. It was one of the best days of my life. And we got home and of course we got home and everyone knew. And, you know, my brother really copped a lot of the violence, you know, like he took a lot of violence for me to protect me.
You know, he never told on his brother just in case his brother got into trouble with his dad.
The hidings that we got were, you get a hiding, you wake up in the bath, like, no clothes on, stinging. Like, those are the kind of hidings we got. They last for hours. They last all day. It's not a, like, controlled kind of thing. But, of course, my father, he's, you know, he was coming off heroin And he had a lot of rage.
I remember hearing of really terrible hidings that Tanari and Malo would get as kids, and, you know, stories about them getting sent home, you know, while we were at primary school, and just stuff like that, that I'd be like, I knew that that was happening, but then, you know, also it was happening to everybody in our neighbourhood.
The funny thing is everyone around here knew about the kind of hidings that we got, so they never really went after my brother because they knew my dad was going to already punish him. So even though he stole from them and he stole from this neighbour too, they were just like, you little shit. But they felt sorry for him because of the violence that would be inflicted on him that they knew about. Judy, oh my goodness.
Hi.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm so good. Oh.
Oh, haven't seen you for years.
I know. This is Judy. So this is my old neighbour when I lived here.
Take note of the old.
She still lives here, Judy. So I really love this lady here and her daughters. They were really nice to us because Dad was a bit of a ratbag back then.
That's right. All the dads were ratbags back then.
Yeah, they were. They were.
Sometimes he'd come wandering over and jump into bed with me.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
You must have been all of about 2.
Yeah.
You know, and I was very good friends with his mum and dad and that. And no, we were just all great, looked out for one another. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Give my love to
you
Kiri
take care.
and Lara.
We'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Take care. Bye now.
This was a very sad house to live in, but she was fucking awesome. Like she said, I used to get in bed with her when I was 2, like walk over and jump in bed with her. That tells you what kind of lady she meant to me and how safe I felt going next door. So that was really awesome to see. I feel a bit teary.
He was quite independent, you know, because of the way me and John's lifestyle was too, you know. Probably nowadays they'll probably call that neglect.
How do I view my upbringing? Yeah, there are parts of it that weren't ideal, and that hurt a lot. I think for me and my brother, every time we took a knock, we could get up easier.
Even though there was a lot of darkness, I also remember the light. And I think, you know, the darkest places where you see the light most prevalent.
To my older bro, no matter what, I just hope you know you'll never be alone. If you ever need me, just pick up that phone. I'll come through like I always do. I remember since it was about 2. Funny how we grew up and I blew up, but all my life I wanted to be just like you. And I stuck like glue, like gum to your shoe. I know it was uncool to have a little bro always hang around you when you're trying to make them girls that you knew from school, but they don't know you like I do. And what life was for me and you too. If you weren't there to wipe my tears, I know I never would have made it through. Mom and Dad would go out all night, come home and start to fight. I got scared, you would let me sleep in your bed telling me it's gonna be alright. Remember that day, Dad was so mad and we were gonna get the bash off to school. If someone didn't know up, we would both get it, but I knew that it was me and you said that it was you. But that's what true brothers do. That night you got stabbed in town. I didn't eat, I didn't sleep. Me and Shane hit the street and turned the city upside down. And I miss when it was you and me. We ain't close as we used to be. But in life you never get what you want, but you always get what you need. Louisville Slugger. Destiny, destiny, destiny. I got my eyes on my destiny. Some things in life are just meant to be.
Really nervous about tonight. I know I'm not prepared. I know I put on a lot of weight since being clean. I do feel pressure. You know, I do feel old. I think this might be my first gig in 2 years. I weighed myself. I'm 131 kgs, which is the heaviest I've been in a long time. I'm putting my balls on the fucking line. I'm gonna open with a brand new song called Destiny.
I've been here for years, I don't get fatigue. You know when that smoke clears, all that's left is me and my destiny. Blood, sweat, and tears was the recipe. Took more style, you motherfucker.
Sorry, G.
Killing it, bro. Yeah.
Oh, it's always a pleasure being with Pete. Like when we see each other, we pick it right back up.
I'm a little more hands-off this go around because I think in the early days I was probably too heavy-handed and too much trying to control every piece of his output, and that just can end in just disappointment for myself. So sometimes it's just like, cool, you're making your thing, I'm here.
Boy, I knew it was coming eventually. Yeah, destiny.
Yeah, I think that was it. We are total opposites. He's very skeptical. I'm very trusting. But when we work together, magic happens. Ooh, I think that's it, AG. I straight up think that's it. I think some BV.
It was just great. I remember commenting to him, I was like, man, I think you found your voice again. It just sounded like the Scribe that I remember. Cool, you wanna lay some
Yeah, let's do some BVs real quick and wrap it up, eh?
Passion meets a plan, that's how I'd put it. Marlo's the drive and the passion, and money is the plan.
Every day my life against the odds. I was born, my dad was behind bars. I dropped out of school, couldn't get a job. Came from the bottom, east of the 03. I ain't forgotten who I used to be. Now I'm running towards what is coming for me. And whatever that be, I guess we got to see.
My earliest memory is this park. And I identified it as the park that was by the jail, where my brother and I would play while my mum visited. My father, I must have been 4.5 years old. And then my next memory is smoking a joint at 5 with my brother.
It wasn't unusual for a generation from Marlo up to have experienced drugs and alcohol and those effects.
When I was 13, my mum got committed into a mental institution. And I remember from that point, I made a choice that I was going to do drugs and I was going to be... I pretty much just gave up.
I think he kind of put a wall up because he was very open with me, but I felt the change, felt like there was a wee separation in our relationship.
By 16, I was selling marijuana, and at 17, I became an opioid user, junkie.
I remember him being like, 15 or 16 it must have been, seeing track marks in his arms.
I left home, and me and a group of my friends who were users, we didn't have no jobs, so we were doing crime, heinous crimes, GBH, home invasion, fraud, even impersonating a police officer. I've done it all.
I was heartbroken and surprised and disappointed to see him taking drugs, I remember, seeing... Sorry, I'm going to get emotional. I didn't mean to. I don't think I can talk about this.
It took my mother to break me out of that addiction. Once she found out, she confronted me and disowned me. And from that moment, I told her I'd never do it again.
Well, I know what it was like to be a drug addict. I know what it's like not to be one. So my son really, didn't have a good start in that area. That addiction was going to be quite a problem for him.
A month later, my group of friends all got done for the crimes we'd been committing, and I met a man named P Money. I think it's important to see that there's a really thin line between making it and not making it. That's P Money.
P Money on the orange juice. Cheers.
So yeah, really nervous about tonight. I know I'm not prepared. I put my set together last night. I haven't rehearsed. On the flip side of that, even though I know I'm not 100% prepared for this gig, I've been doing this so long that I can still do it.
Any time of day I'm focusing. No one you know can flow dope as this. I could rip your whole clique with my broken wrist. I swear each time you spit it's a load of shit. If you open your lips I'ma close them quick. Cause my tongue is a gun with the loaded clip. And I'm known to trip.
You know, Pete was the first guy that helped me. And, you know, I stayed at his house out in, when he lived out in Papakura, you know, met his mum and dad and slept in his room, you know, and we were just doing our thing on a very basic level. And when you do that with someone and you start from zero and you go all the way to the bloody top, you know, those experiences that we have are for life. To me, he is my brother.
Done. That's it.
You reckon?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah?
Okay. It's wicked. I mean, it's up to you, because you listen back and see if it's capturing what you think it needs. But honestly, the performance was on. Sounds great. Back then, some days he might smoke some weed before coming to the studio, or even at the studio, and those days would be really slow.
Here we are, today's another brand new day, it's Wednesday. We're gonna go hit the studio today at Dirty. We're gonna have some fucking breakfast, toast, and of course some fucking weed. This is how we start our day.
He didn't seem aware of it, but I'd be like, bro, if you come to the studio sober, you are better. Like, your performances are better. You don't forget the lyrics. The timing is on. It's gonna be better, yeah.
What's up, yo? Welcome to Australia. We're at Coogee. We're about to go on MTV. Peter.
No, I've got my own one over here. I'm doing my own one.
All right, look at this right here.
When he kind of hit fame and the album came out, he was doing a lot of travelling.
I was working every day and smoking meth. Doing tours, you know, not sleeping.
Gotta be happy. They had to close the doors. They just had to stop people coming in.
I was burning, you know, the wick at both ends.
I know that there was a lot of drugs being given to him. He would finish a gig and his pockets would just be full. He was just travelling all the time. You know, sometimes months away on the road. And then he would come back and it would be in, like, recovery.
You just didn't know what character you were going to get, you know. Sometimes you would wake up happy, and sometimes you just wish he was still asleep.
Scribe would do this thing, he's got a song about it, it's called AWOL, and he would just disappear. There was one actually in Australia, went all the way to Australia to do the show, and he didn't make it. So I'm at this gig, and there's a room full of people, and we're getting paid a lot of money, and it's just me. That's not a Scribe show. So I do a DJ set, and I apologize as much as I can, but I can't reach him. I don't know what's happened. I don't know why he wasn't able to travel or why he missed the flight. And I'm left there just holding, and people are looking at me like, well, you must be responsible for him.
I'm sure Marlo being like AWOL and taking off and disappearing wherever he goes to get out of it or to hide or whatever it is, you know, I'm 100% positive that that's like a coping mechanism to just get away for a bit.
I need to know if y'all ready right now. My name's MC Scribe. And I'm fucking old, G. But I appreciate your love right now. Can I play a new song? This is off my new album coming out next year. Destiny, destiny. Yeah, I got my eyes on my destiny. Some things in life are just meant to be. I knew what was coming eventually. Hey, destiny, and I feel my destiny.
I felt a lot of pressure. It was hard for a 23-year-old to deal with. I was never feeling good, so he was my go-to.
I knew what was coming eventually. I got no time to wait.
all these problems came about from him disappearing and like just getting deeper into his addiction. Man, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we had to patch up and cover off and to get back to even be in a room together to feel like positive and create.
Destiny. I knew it was coming eventually. That's just a little sample of my new shit.
It was a struggle, physically. I know I'm not fit, but the energy of the crowd carried me through. They were so excited. Inside, I know that I can do better, so I feel let down, like I let myself down. This was a good warm-up for me to be like, okay, now I know where I'm at, where I need to get to be match fit.
You motherfuckers are beautiful.
She tells it, you know, I was caught by the police, possession of methamphetamine. My life was fucking falling apart, my career's over. You know, I'm the laughing stock of the country.
To go through that and then have to face all of what comes next would have been super tough.
Fame was not good for me, and especially just the enormity and how fast it happened for me was hard for a 23-year-old to deal with.
The fame he had at a really early age, how do you deal with that? I mean, it was bananas. Like, literally, it was Beatlemania for a young poly kid from Christchurch.
It was amazing. It did happen really fast. So when I look back on it now, I think it was quite traumatic.
When he started blowing up, I was probably about 4, I think. And to me, it was just like, I thought everyone's dad was like this. Like, everyone's dad could go and perform in rap for a living.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to one of the baddest, illest MCs in the country. Give it up for MC Scribe!
The first time I really seen it was at a park that we all grew up in that community. He had a concert there.
Look at these little ones. That's what it's all about. Next generation, giving back.
Michael was only very young, and Jackson was there too.
I remember my mum was carrying me, and I remember just like looking back, and it was like a whole crowd like chasing us.
It was like a stampede of like 200 young kids.
And I remember my dad quickly got on that Honda Civic. Just driving up straight away, and I remember looking back, and I was just still chasing, and then on the whole ride home, I was like, are they still following us?
You know, I would give anything just to be the old mate that could just not be recognized and just blend in without people looking at you like you're not human.
Let me say again, me say, little boy in the streets them running, no food for the starving tummy, no family hung around, no fear for the man who offered the crown, no, making moves in the righteous way again, let the people talk to my friend, me not pay no mind, I'll break off, I will be fine, come again.
Lion Rears, you know, like, as a vocalist, he's like out of this world. He's so strong and he's very unique voice.
Then fire keys, yeah, I got it, ready, brother, ready. Let's do it. A lot of nerves come into my system, you know, when I hit big studios like this. Calm down a little bit, eh? Calm down, Lion, calm down. This is one of those ones where I get to tick off the bucket list, you know. Lion Rears with the France whole nation, we coming up making waves. Yeah, one beside.
It's just waves.
Going up making waves.
Yeah.
Going up making waves.
Yeah,
you know, all of those.
Yeah.
Those ones, they just unison, are they?
Yeah, brother.
Kapai, tata, you correct.
You know, pai, brother.
We coming up making waves, yeah, one beside. Yes. Yeah, it's a rap. Yeah, boy. I know his ears are very, very particular. If he likes it, the whole country should like it.
From 2003 October to 2004 October was probably the best year of my life.
And the winner is...
The thing with becoming famous is you don't change, like everyone else's perception around you changes. So I was still that guy that used to shoot up morphine. That was the, you know, the kind of loser, kind of like no one expected me to be successful, least of all me.
I remember when he won the Tuis.
Scribe, stand up.
Scribe the Crusader. Chris Graham and Scribe.
Scribe. Oh, it's Scribe.
Scribe!
At the end of the night, I was like, you know, what are we going to do? Are we going to do something like to celebrate? And he was like, nah, let's just go back to the hotel, you know. You know, there was almost a little bit of sadness. I think he just never felt good enough, to be honest. And, you know, looking at all those awards, you know, that's when I really seen that, you know, it didn't matter how much praise he was getting, he still had a lot of loss inside.
Yeah, I think the truth is nobody ever knows how to prepare somebody for fame or for being in the limelight.
Methamphetamine became such a problem I had to come clean with my management, and I confessed to them that I was addicted to pee.
We were just working very hard all the time, traveling a lot, touring, and just probably have been naive or just oblivious to how bad his drug addiction was and the problems and things that in his life that he'd experienced that led to those early decisions that went to a bad path, you know? I wasn't aware of it, man.
Why would a famous, very talented and highly successful musician deal with a pawnbroker pawning his awards?
At my lowest point, when I wanted to get some pee and I couldn't get any money, I thought it would be a good idea to pawn some plaques. You know, I pawned those plaques as a way to get a quick fix, you know, without my family in that knowing. I didn't expect for this pawnbroker to generate this kind of publicity by throwing me under the bus, and of course, who loses at the end of the day but me? He told me $8,000.
$8,000 to get them back, and how much had he given you for them?
About $1,000, you know, all up.
And you wanted $8,000 to give them back to you?
He wanted $8,000.
You know, we didn't have all this nice stuff that we used to have, and I could just tell, you know, by his attitude that, you know, something wasn't right.
But now I'm back in this bitch fam, living life on the edge of the cliff hang. Shit, damn, these concrete streets get deep. On my brother slipping hard like quicksand, but I crawl through the mud just to get.
When I was listening to that, it took me back to the time when I wrote that verse. I wrote that verse when I was deep in my meth addiction, and back in this bitch van, been living life on the edge at the cliff hang. Like, because at that time, I'd been on the news, all that shit was going on for me.
Malo Luafutu made a quick exit from court in Christchurch after the judge postponed sentencing him for possession of methamphetamine. He'll be sentenced for the drugs conviction in September.
It ain't easy, couldn't be walking this path. From the bottom, God got it made it this far. A big fish, small pond, swimming with sharks. You won't find fear anywhere in this heart.
Big fish, small ponds, swimming with sharks. I was like, you know, Scribe, yeah, I'm a big fish, but this is a very small pond here in New Zealand. And I'm swimming with all these media sharks. But you won't find fear anywhere in this heart, so I wasn't scared.
Ain't no such thing as justice, it's just us. The one that's all behind bars trying to bust us. All my people struggling, dog, is fucked up. Cause I'm sure I'm too pure for the half cast. And if you're really coming for me, don't be half-assed. Your last chance to escape from your dark past. Tomorrow morning, there'll be flying flags at half-mast.
Oh. It really captures everything I wanted to say and was feeling at that point. I was still deep in my addiction. If you listen to the lyrics, it's like, ain't no justice, it's just us. And that's just how I felt about the justice system at the time. Because if you remember, I was on the 6 o'clock news for failing to appear at court.
The once chart-topping artist was meant to appear here in the Christchurch District Court late last month on those charges. He failed to show, and police appealed to social media for information.
The police, like, posting on their Facebook page, like, posting a photo of him, that's just unforgivable bullshit to me.
By the time all that stuff was on the news and stuff, it was all over social media. You got people like getting angry at you for supporting someone that is family, saying that you're enabling them by supporting them. That was hard. That was hard.
I actually felt for him. I actually felt like, man, they're really trying to get this guy.
Take that. But a lot of them do feel empathy. I'm sure.
Who?
The media.
Oh. sure there's a lot more important stories going on in the world than a washed-up rapper going to court.
It is a big story because it's destroying a lot of people's lives, especially the young ones.
Mother, do you think they care about people's lives? Do you think that's why they're putting us out there, is to help other people? The media don't give a fuck about other people.
I think the media really didn't consider, or they just didn't care, really, that he had a family. For our kids, I think that was the most devastating thing, for them to have to go to school and talk about it.
We got pulled out of school for a month or two, just over the time of him being in the media, just to kind of, like, protect us and stuff.
I didn't really tell a lot of people that my dad was Scribe, just to keep my life not very out there.
It was just terrible. It was a witch hunt, in my opinion. Really just not considering someone in that state, someone that is an addict and is really struggling. I think they just did a really good job at kicking him while he was down already.
After handing himself in late this afternoon, the troubled rapper is due to appear in Aotearoa District Court tomorrow.
Probably one of the hardest things is to have your personal life splashed across mainstream media and almost see the media enjoy someone's fall from grace, or, you know, making a big, massive thing out of it from one perspective, not necessarily showing the whole context.
It was all bullshit, and it was just hounding. And it was just journos writing stories about Scribe because they know that people love him and they'll click on it. Or the people that don't love him will click on it because they'll want to see someone, you know, great go down, because that seems to be a thing in New Zealand.
Because there's so many parts to Marlo, and they just would focus on one tiny part of his, you know, what he was going through and blow it up.
Said I've been going through life, life been throwing me strife, strife been giving me struggle, struggle conditioned me right, resisting.
I would tell any young person that fame is definitely not the rewards of success. Like, fame is the downfall, because it's not until you lose your privacy, once you lose that anonymity, that you realize how vital it is and how important it is to hold your privacy.
I'm a small town kid, I got big plans in a big bad world where I came through. And what I say, man, I do it my way or the highway. You know I never do the shit that they do, cause I stay true. So before you shoot your mouth off, best believe right now I am the gun. What you talking about, spitting fire, boy, spitting fire, boy? Don't you know that I am the sun? Woo!
That beach, just in general, is somewhere where I go when I need to, like, just think. Well, for me, it's a healing place. But I've always got to be near water. It calms me. I think also being an islander is probably why I love the beach, because I come from Samoa and I come from the coast. Our village is right on the beach, so that's probably why. I just sent you a beat. Can you play this for the boys? I sent this Samoan song to Infectious, and Infectious sent a beat back. I was like, fuck, I love this. Like, you know, those ones like, I don't know, but there's a beat here. Yeah. And he made this. Knowing who you are as a human, your whakapapa, you know, your lineage, knowing who you are, where you came from, is very important to stable mental health. Because once you know, another cliche, you know where you're from, then you know where you're going.
I think it is important, like, identity, trying to find the identity in our sound these days, especially with, like, internet and shit. Yeah.
Well, just hearing that, like, because when I hear that, it gets me hype. You know, and I know it's my Samoan blood getting hyped. You know, as well as the dum, but it's like, you know, those chants. It's in my blood to be like, yes, you know. For young Māori and Pacific Islanders, I think there's a real gap with their identity, and I think for my father, his experience as a Samoan in this country was so bad that he never taught us traditionally because he felt it was a hindrance.
The dream of my parents coming over here for a better life for us, but, you know, they couldn't sustain that because really they didn't know how to bring us up in the Palangi environment. Like, we weren't allowed to speak English at home because they couldn't understand English.
Immigrants coming to New Zealand and trying to fit in, and their parents just being too strict and really, you know, trying to live the good New Zealand lifestyle, but also being very far Samoa at home.
For me, growing up was like a foot in both worlds, so it was really, really hard, you know.
Unfortunately, that just meant that it was just a very sort of violent upbringing, and I think most Samoan immigrant families from that era have a very similar story.
The play, The White Guitar, is receiving critical acclaim in Christchurch.
A few years ago, my brother and my father and I wrote a play about our life. It was called The White Guitar.
At first, Malo was reluctant to take part.
I wasn't keen because, you know, I'm a very private person. I don't want to be like, hey, here's all our shit. And I said to my brother, I don't want to do this because I know the kind of ramifications that can come from putting your stuff out there.
We all went as a family, and I was just sitting there. I was a wreck. I was so shocked and sad, you know. It was so powerful. I just thought it was the most amazing play ever.
I'm watching myself beating up my boys because they're telling the story. I'm watching myself being a real bad dad.
I think he never quite realised the magnitude of his actions. And when he's seen us reliving these scenes, tears are coming to his eyes like through rehearsals, and he's like, we'd finish and he'd go, I never knew.
If you saw White Guitar, you would have seen how immigration and shame was a big part of the things that then spiraled into other stuff like crime and addiction, but also racism, the way we get treated.
Now, let me just say that my father, he came here from Samoa, and he was in Grey Lynn, you know, in those early days. And he became a water state at 12 years old. He spent his whole, from 12 to 21, under care of the system. And that system is the system that sexually abused him, that physically abused him. The most heinous things happened to these children, to my father, who was a boy. You know, so I don't want to paint my father as this monster, even though he was a monster. He was created a monster. He wasn't born one.
Like myself and some of my other cousins and other young Samoans that went through the kind of stuff that we went through in the early 60s and late 50s. And how we turned out is something that I carry around with me for a long time, you know, real dark, angry little me.
Don't worry, son. One day God will bring you your own white guitar.
The play was an amazing success. We were supposed to take it to New York. We got an Australian tour, and I quit it. I said, I can't do it. Because after that, I just went heavy into drugs. All these things that I'd suppressed in my life with music, you know, and distractions, all these things I bottled up as a kid, all of a sudden were brought to the surface, and we'd opened up all these boxes with all these demons, and they were all there, and I didn't know what to do with them.
That was kind of the worst of the worst time for us, and where the level of his addiction was at.
When he first started kind of disappearing for long periods of time, Mum had said that, oh, he's working on something, but after a while it kind of got normal.
The periods grew longer and longer between times we seen him, and we didn't want to ask questions, really, to upset our parents.
I did get kind of angry when he would leave for long periods of time, especially when Mum started working night shifts.
I was really at the end of how much I could take as a person.
You know, what my mum went through, it's hard, but
for me, the more damaging the behaviour came, the more I had to protect my kids and my family.
My wife left me with my children, and I was a broken-hearted man. You know, to me, family is everything. So when I lost my family, I stopped giving a fuck. I didn't give a fuck about anything.
I had tried every avenue. I had tried family support and family talking to him. I had tried psychologists, and I'd taken him to the hospital several times. I've taken him to the doctor. I tried everything. I tried to get him into rehab, and so jail was kind of the end of that. Jail was, for me, going to be something that I felt like he needed.
Hip-hop artist Scribe is now facing court action of a domestic nature, delaying his sentencing today for a drugs conviction.
I was charged with assault on a female, being my partner at the time. For the record, I've never hit her, and it came out in our trial. And her reasons behind her lying about that was that she was really scared for me and where my addiction was taking me.
He was never physical. Yeah, if anything, I was quite physical with him, just out of frustration. But yeah, I ended up just feeling like I was at a loss where to get help. And so I did seek a protection order. Yeah, and I just really felt like that was my only option, which is sad because there should be other options than trying to put someone away.
Oh. I want to give a shout out to my probation officer right now. I just finished my intensive supervision. Shout out to my lawyer. Shout out to everybody in the Matai Wing at CMP. Papado prison, you know what's up. I told you when I get out what's up.
They put me in a high security wing. I met a couple of guys who had been in there for 22 years. They hadn't even eaten Burger King. They had been there since they were 18 years old, which made me realise how lucky I was, because I was only going to be there a few months. You know, you understand we're spending 22 hours of the day locked in a room every day. I realised that this isn't the life for me. I also realised that, yeah, my dad is on time, my brother, but that's not my life, and that I shouldn't be there. Also realised, you know, seeing all these broken men, just how, like, sad it is that jail is the solution.
People who suffer from addiction, they need help. They don't need jail. Jail's not going to do anything. They need help to get well.
Okay. I've been reporting to police 3 times a week. And today, it's Friday and it's jail time. If I'm late, but I ain't trying to breach bail. Even if I see jail. At my court date, I'll be straight-faced, no frail. Mind stay on and let's toast a good fight. Bottoms up, made it up from the bottom, fresh out the hood, like. What the fuck did you think I forgot it? What you think I forgot it? What you think I forgot him? I never forget when I see that motherfucker, I got him.
I think it would have been very difficult for both Malo and Tanare to have not gone down the road that they've gone down in their lives, you know.
And I'm still working through things, and I guess he is too. Those negative things of how to put those things that don't serve us to the side, and I think, yeah, it's a daily thing you go through, and it's something we take to the grave, those battles. So.
If it wasn't for jail, if it wasn't for all that court shit, if it wasn't for the media, you know, just doing me the way they did, I probably wouldn't have found the strength to fight back. You know, I wouldn't have found the strength to fight for my life, to prove people wrong about me, to not let those stories you saw in the paper be how Scribe ended.
I was excited for him to go to rehab because you know, it felt like, you know, things are changing, like, finally.
Yeah, for us, it was... Yeah. Like, when we seen him, he just broke down crying, so... That's when we knew, like, you know, he's kind of back.
I never really had a definite, like, idea of who I was, what my co-papa is, you know, because he's this scribe who's this role model, gave up drugs and alcohol, and then there's me behind the scenes in my home, hating myself and using to just numb my reality that I hated. I hated being famous, and I hated people looking up to me because I never felt good about myself.
Hey, 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 what to do when a true love goes wrong? When you've been in a relationship for so long, and you fight every night like you don't even know why your brother trying to hold on, cause you had a fairy tale love once upon a time, but right now it's so gone. Tell me how long do you hold on before you say goodbye so long? Cause I gotta work, I gotta grind.
If you ask me why I want to make another album, the answer is really simple. The answer is, for me to make sense of what I went through, it has to be to help other people.
I went to sleep for a minute. When I woke up, everything froze up. I felt no love, and I don't want to be here. I'm about to go nuts.
I got out of jail, and I didn't want to use methamphetamine anymore, and I told everyone, don't come over, don't bring no fucking pipe. But the thing about environments is, as long as you're in the environment, you're always in danger. So it was only a matter of time before I fell back into the old ways of coping. I'm actually not allowed in here, so I'll just text my mum. My dad will spin out on you.
When he got into the heart of his addiction, you know, there was no good communication going on. You know, I'd know when he was in a good mood, and I thought, oh, he probably had a smoke because he's blah, 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 you know, talking away. And because I'm a former addict myself, so there's nothing that I could hide from me. I knew all the symptoms and I knew the behaviours.
Because I didn't come home one night and said he didn't come home because he was using. I'd been clean for 2 weeks. So instead of just what would have been a one-night relapse, because I really regretted it, turned into 6 months.
It was no longer just recreational fun for him while he went away. It was beginning to be something quite serious. It was frightening. It was frightening being in a situation that's unpredictable. It was a very unstable, unsettling, toxic time for us as a family.
I could see him physically not okay, mentally, emotionally. It was, yeah, you know, he was, it was like dead.
You get to a point where if you admit defeat, if you admit that you're powerless, that you cannot control this drug anymore, and the only way to beat it is to chop yourself. Because you can see the pain you're inflicting on the people around you. You can see the people that love and care about you. You can see how hurt they are by your actions.
He had some really dark times where he didn't want to be here anymore. And I think that was the most difficult thing. And I had reached out because he did have an attempt on his life, and there was just no help.
So I made a suicide plan where I would OD and it would be an accident. And that way it would save everyone from feeling some type of way or guilt, because I never want to leave my family feeling guilt. But I was just trying to resolve my problems.
We went for help, and we really just got sent home and told that he was going to be okay. And that was really devastating for me. I just really felt like there is no nothing else that's going to be able to help. You know, I'd exhausted every single option that I had tried.
Drowning so useless. Deep down in my bullshit. I got a life preserver. The truth is that one day the great gon' get us. The change gon' come, but it's now or never. Man, you gotta get your shit together. Shit together. Shit together. Yo, shit, so you gotta get your shit together. Shit together. Shit together. Yo, shit, so you gotta get your shit together. Shit together.
I definitely think it was divine intervention because I ended up talking to a man who knew about a house in Dunedin, and that was a Moana house.
The Kiwi rapper Scribe has taken to social media to announce he's heading to rehab.
If you think you or someone you know may be thinking about suicide, call the Suicide Crisis Helpline on 0508 828 865 for support. If you believe either you or someone you know is in immediate danger, please call 111.
Here we are in Dunedin, right outside Moana House. Without this whare and without these people, I hate to think where I'd be right now. I wouldn't be somewhere good. So I really owe a lot, and it's with a lot of mixed emotion right now as we stand outside. Because this whare means so much to me, and the people here mean so much to me. Meeting them changed my life. Meeting them helped me to know that I am worthy of change and that change is actually possible. Hello. Oh my God. Claire is one of the most amazing women I've ever met. If I hadn't have met her, I'm not sure I would still be on this earth.
Malo seemed to be able to make some connections while he was here and go on to use some of those tools in his life. It's never a simple thing. There's no quick fix and there's no magic.
You know, that was the final, like, this is it. Like, it's either gonna, work now or it's not gonna work.
You learn that there's a lot going on for you before you actually pick up that substance or that self-medication. It's not even about that, it's about what's going on in here and externally what has triggered you in here and what is that connected to. And most of it is to do with my father.
When Marlo was born, I was in jail. When I got out, I found out I had to try and bond with my son who didn't know me. And every time I sit next to Carol, he'll kick me, or we'll hop into bed and he'll try and get in between us and kick me away. He was really possessive over his mother. So he probably thought who this guy is that's just come into his life.
I'll tell you this one memory when I was, I think, 7 years old, and my mum was going up, and she looked like a Hollywood actress. She was so beautiful getting ready, and I remember just looking at her and admiring my mum like, wow. And then getting woken at 3 in the morning to a lot of swearing, a lot of smashing, a lot of screaming, and then waking up in the morning to see my mother. And she came into my room with a Polaroid camera, hands shaking, and said, "Can you take a photo of me?" And I looked at my mother and she had 2 black eyes, cut nose, earrings, lobes, ripped, cut lip, fat top lip, unrecognizable. I just remember feeling this hatred for my father and wanting to kill him.
I don't know, I hate talking about domestic violence and addiction and that stuff in isolation, because it implies that that only happens to that family when actually it had happened to our community.
I know that I wouldn't be who I am right now. Not that I'm perfect, I've still got a long way to go and I'm working towards that, but I wouldn't even be entertaining the thought of changing or that I was actually sick.
When we went to visit him in rehab, it was quite surreal, like seeing him just you know, his emotions, because we hadn't seen him like that for a while. So him being clean and going to see him, it was like, for myself, I was like, oh, this is a bit too much, you know? He's like hugging me, saying that he loves me, and I was like, oh. Like, we haven't had that in a while, so it was like, oh.
He turned 40 down there, so we wanted to surprise him.
Cook him his favourite foods.
Take him a big birthday cake and presents, you know, spoil him.
It just felt like a different person. Like, he was really, like, happy, and it felt like how he used to be.
It was just good to see him. I just actually seen a glimpse of, yay, you know, he's come back to himself.
Yeah, he just burst into tears, and we all ended up crying in front of, like, the whole rehab house. So, yeah, nothing will take that moment away from me.
It requires every fucking ounce of strength you have left to pick yourself up and actually do a program and not bullshit yourself and do the program for real. Get up every day and make the choice to live and do something different.
I have the feeling that he'll be clean as long as he's alive, because he's been through all that and he's learned from his mistakes.
I remembered how much I actually love sleeping and love eating and love food, and how much I love spending time with my family, and that those were all the things that were missing from my addiction. And I've got them now, and I know 1,000% that I made the right choice, and that the things I have are the real value. So who am I going to be? Because I know who I set out to be. And I'm still on that journey to become that person. I just didn't think it was take this fucking long. Okay, so here we are, Christchurch City. It's unrecognisable now. My cousin died here on a bus, and I can feel a lot of sadness here. So these are the names of all the people that passed away in the earthquake. This is the Remembrance Wall. And here's my cousin's name.
Jeff was a beautiful young man. He was such a beautiful soul. They were waiting for that bus together. They were at the bus stop, and then Milo left to go on a mission with a mate who'd pulled up, and Jeff got on the bus, and that's where he lost his life.
A building had collapsed on the bus, and I saw a picture of the bus. It was like a sardine can, and my cousin was on that bus. And there was one survivor. It was an old lady, and she was sitting in the back, and I always sit in the back. So, you know, it always plays on my mind that if I had went, I would have said, no, we're going to sit in the back. And, you know, I don't know. It always fucks with me.
That's been a big part of Marlo's story. But yeah, I know the loss of Jeff hit everybody hard.
The press actually covered the funeral, which I think I was just in a delicate space, but I just felt really disrespected. I just felt really defensive when I saw the press there taking photos, and I didn't really understand. I just felt like taking advantage of my fame and this tragedy. He's like my brother. He's like my best friend. He's like knew me better than anyone. I knew him. He knew my secrets. I knew his secrets. When you lose someone like that, it's something that you can never recover from. The last 10 years of my life, as shit as it's been for me personally in my personal life, It's given me the ingredients I needed to write some new songs. And this song in particular, I'm still finishing. It's really my one song answer to all of the speculation, all of the judgment that I had during the time my addiction was so publicly covered.
Are you happy that the truth came out in that?
Give you a little sample. Even this beat, like, as soon as it comes on, I just start getting goosebumps and feeling like I've been waiting for a beat like this for a long time. Back from the back, from the back, from the back, from the back, from the dead, but I'm living now. Not attached to the things just to get me down. Hit the ground every time that they let me down. Same people that are never brown. Hear it in my sound, there was never doubt. If there's one thing that I've been about, I was down and out, never for the count, but I'm coming back from the black, I got it figured out. I sit in the south of the lonely and the lost soul. Anyone who can't cope cause they lost hope. I know the road full of detours, potholes. I thank God my enemies never got close. So my whereabouts, the media try to air me out. Put my business up on Facebook and share me out. Your opinion's something I could never care about. You didn't want to listen, no truth, but to hear me now. Cause I don't give a fuck about your feelings, bitch. I just do me. I already know who the realest is. I just do me. I put my mirror on the ceiling cause I just do me. And I kill it cause I just do me. And I'm the realest cause I just do. I just do. I just do.
Hey, bro.
Yo, Zach.
What's up, man?
Hey, I was just wondering if it's cool if I come over and lay a demo down real quick.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Is that cool? I'll be there in about 30 minutes.
2 minutes, bro.
It's on one of your beats. It's fucking killer. That magnetic beat. Set that session up, G. I'm on my way. The guy, my guy. Oh, my guy.
How are you, brother?
I'm fucking good. I'm really good. This is Zach. This is infectious. This is a genius at work. This is the man right here. It's a beautiful father of 6.
I think that when Scribe raps, there's just the room stops and listens to what he has to say.
I'm very lucky to be working with such an awesome young talent. Hey, you're young compared to me. I'm 42. I'm 42, all right?
I feel 42 someday.
Well, with 6 kids, yeah. Oh, this guy. Bro,
yeah, bro.
That's like world class, G. I was like, fuck, I can't believe this fucking dude.
He will tell his story, you know, in whatever way he wants, and whatever he says, I think people will listen.
Back from the back, from the back, from the back, from the back, from the dead, but I'm living now. Not attached to the things used to get me down. Hit the ground every time that they let me down. Same people that are never around. Hear it in my sound, there was never doubt.
He kind of just came in and was like, all right, bro, let's go. You know, one take.
Here we are in Aotearoa, Christchurch, at Electric Avenue. I mean, there's like 27,000 people here or something like that. I had a really good set, jumped up on stage with my old band, Salmon on a dub. We played pretty good for a bunch of old farts. So I'm proud, I'm feeling good. And now, getting ready for Scribe to hit the stage. I'm proud of him, man. And Aotearoa, you know, at the end of the day, all the haters can just go, fuck yourselves. Scribe's the fucking man. Don't forget it.
This is here. From the studio, when you've seen us, we've taken that song and we're doing it today. So, we're doing a brand new fucking song today. I'm nervous about it.
I came in, I saw my brother pacing, which is weird because he only does that when he's quite nervous.
You know, I've been through a lot coming from the city. The press here, you know, they've reported a lot of shit on me. I've been to court here. A lot of people, my people in the city, see me go through my shit.
Now, I feel that he's gone through probably the lowest and darkest and heaviest shit you possibly go through. And now he's powered up and he's stepping into his power and he's just gonna unleash.
It's like a redemption. This for me is redemption, and this is for me a statement performance where I let everyone know that I'm back.
slugger.
Destiny, destiny, destiny. I got my eyes on my destiny.
Scribe to your soul, give it up. I rip it up, so dope this shit. Everybody wanna hear the buzz. Long needs to breathe because you're hanging up. We refuse to lead, nigga in the mouth. But we think about drugs, we just come in the club, but never tell them I said, but I'm looking for God. So what? Scribe when I'm making it out of your flow. In the Japanese, he opens the room slow. Now everything we do, we let you know. Jump around, back, yeah, I'm ready to go. So it's things in the past, it was yesterday. Today I'm on my way to a best way. But ever bring it together, won't you separate? So whether you like it or not, I'm gonna elevate. That's what I'm just taking down to celebrate. We like to take a breath, y'all. How y'all feeling? I'm feeling that way too. Except I ain't fucking doing drugs. This shit right here is my fucking drug and I forgot about that. I fucking love this city. This song is brand new. I've never fucking performed it before. Let's go. Back from the back, from the back, from the back, from the back, from the dead, but I'm living now. Not attached to the ladies just to get me down. I hit the ground every time that they let me down. Same people that are never around. Hear it in my sound, there was never doubt. If there's one thing that I've been about, I was down and out, never for the count. Cause I'm coming back from the black, I got it figured out. Sending this out to the lonely and the lost soul. Anyone who can't cope cause you lost hope. Know the road full of detours, potholes. Thank God my enemies never got close. Some are wearing vows and media, try to air me out. Want my business on my Facebook, share me out. So repeat something I can never care about. Didn't wanna listen, no shit, but they hear me now. Cause I don't give a fuck about your feelings, bitch. I just do me. I already know who the realest is. I just do me. I put my mirror on the ceiling cause I just do me. And I kill it cause I just do me. I'm the realest cause I just do me. Hey, me. I just do 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 me. Fuck the TV. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Did you like that new track?
Being up here tonight and feeling everyone's love and energy made me feel like it was worth it, because there was times when I wanted to give up. It's the best drug in the world. Beats crack, beats fucking any drug you got. Being able to do that and connect with people, it's a real privilege to be able to do that.
I don't think Marlon have ever thought that it would be worse than what he experienced before. He was shocked on the first strike, and from then, he looks like he was trying to find a comfortable place to be able to handle the pain.
I don't know, I just thought, fuck, how is he doing this?
Today's a massive, massive day for me. Today is the day that we begin the journey of my better. When I think about it, I know that this is part of my journey. The significance of this tattoo, you know, apart from my culture, for me, this is my rebirth.
This will be a changing experience for Marlo's life. You're not only thinking about yourself, you go back to your ancestors, your family, where you come from, and putting all those things together can change your life in a way of living, in a way you understand about life. Okay, don't move.
It makes sense that he wants to do something which is culturally significant. It'll have a profound impact on him because you physically have to go through pain, and part of that pain is dealing with the pain that you've caused other people. So it can be quite therapeutic in a way, but also it can also signify a new beginning.
I got it. I'm making do the damn thing. I promise. I promise. I really got it.
Bro, this whole shit's a journey, bro. It's like your story and everything.
The thing with all these songs is I wrote them where I was in the dark times. Sometimes I feel like as artists, we purposely put ourselves in places to find the song. You know, because, you know, you can only write that song when you've actually been there. And people that have been there go, oh, shit.
To see him back on the mic, it's like, man, there's nothing's changed but the years, you know? The only thing that he's still got it, if not he's better, and that buzzes me out.
That's what separates good artists from great ones, to me, is people that remain hungry even after success.
Firstly, when I was going into this, I wasn't sure if my brother and my father would be there. You know, my dad he's not too well. It means a lot to me, and I think it's very important, and it's the only way that it could be done, is to have my older brother there and my father, considering that my journey has been walking alongside them.
My brother, he's always been a pathfinder out of us two. Like, he'd always go and do the things I wanted to do first, and I think I sort of saw it like, okay, I can do the same too. But yeah, with the better, it's something I've always wanted, because of my father having it, but my brother's the one that will go first again. And of course, even with his career, I just want to be there to support.
So your mind is telling you that it's nearly done, then all of a sudden your whole body is shut down. Your mind is shutting down. Because I can see now all you wanted is to finish.
Mm-hmm.
You're not concentrating on how to carry yourself in the next 3 weeks.
Seems so far away either.
Yeah, it's still far.
Today was a hard day. I was trying to fight the pain, like mentally resist it, but that just made it harder.
The bear itself is about your decision. It's about the hurts in your life that you've had. Like for me, like all the hurts that I've had in my life with jails and, you know, fights and things like that, all those pains, emotional pains, not being there as a father, all those sort of things, you know, I put into when I was getting tattooed.
You know, I was holding my dad's hand today, and you know, we've had a massive, like, tumultuous kind of relationship, but there's always been love. So I think today is the first time I actually, like, just held his hand for some comfort.
To live. Is it no wonder that they going under a little more slumber? I'm trying to give all that I can just to summon my reason to write. Cause when I do 20 times 2 with the sight, it's a sight to behold, visionary delay. Every time that I rhyme on the mic, I am just like a diamond reflecting that light. Blind in the way I be shining so bright, and I'm just like my friends who be stuck on a pipe. I'm up all night, ready to fly.
I'm feeling really excited. I really am liking my new music. All in all, I just know what I'm saying is the truth.
Seeing where he's at now, he's definitely got
drive and purpose behind him, but also he knows where he wants to go. He knows where he wants to take all of this.
It's a reconnection of relationships and community. So while there's the narrative of him making music again, I feel like it's more about him making life again.
Let you go since we broke up. I've been lost in the days, didn't know what. It hit me something like a train over tow truck. And I will never love again, girl, you know what? Fear to say since the day I ain't spoke much. So
this one is my son. My son's song, and I begged him for it because I loved it. So he's got his chorus on there and he deleted his raps.
Yeah, I posted a snippet of it on my Instagram, and then he seen it and he rang me up straight away. He was like, send me that track, and I was like, nah.
I told him not to give it to my dad because I wanted it out there, quick.
I'm like, gee, send me some of these songs. I need some ideas.
Yeah, to keep them all for yourself,
Because the ones he played me, I'm like, oh, can I have this?
When I heard my dad on it, I was kind of like, oh, nah. He still got it. Like, he still got it.
We're going to finish with the belly button, which is the big part of our culture. As the last part of Tatatau that disconnects you from your old life without Tatatau and enter your new responsibility of life, which is being a man, being a father, and being a leader.
I feel really elated to get to the end. Physically, I feel sore, stinging all over. But what a massive accomplishment, really. I feel really proud. I think more than anything, I had to let a lot of things go. A lot of things in my past go, a lot of resentment, a lot of self-pity, had to let it go. So I feel like a different person.
It's just good having Marlo back. Funny guy, family man, yeah. That's my bro. It felt like a big brother again.
That boy was such a success, I kind of felt like you didn't need us, me and his mum, and I thought, oh, well, that's fair enough. He's a grown man now, he's got his own family. But, to have him needing me again in that way is reassuring as a dad.
The biggest reward has really been the healing between my brother and my father and I. And understanding, why my dad was the way he was and why he did the things he did to us. Just came to the realization I'm 42, and the last decade with my father has been the best. Like, I've never loved him as much as I do right now. But there's 30 years before that I lost with my father, and 20 of those years is because of me. It's because I didn't understand. It's because I held so much resentment and blame and self-pity. I lost that time with my father, and now that, I know he doesn't have, that long left, it's a real hard, pill to swallow. It's a real hard lesson to learn about forgiveness. Just releasing this album is going to be exactly that for me, a release of a lot of shit that I've just been holding inside. I've definitely brought it back to, music is my therapy. What I'm saying is real to me, and that is the reward for me.
And here we are on full circle. I really hope that with him maturing and growing older, he sort of puts less pressure on himself and just makes music for the love of it, because the rawness of it, for me, is just gold.
Art is about storytelling, it's about connection, it's about people. Put someone vulnerable and someone with a story and someone who feels like they have something to say and something to contribute, but feels unheard. Yeah, that's Smile.
It's just cool that New Zealand has taken ownership of him as an artist. And even through the tough times, I feel like they still were like, he's ours, warts and all.
All I want to hear is the truth. Good, bad, and ugly. That's all I want to hear from him.
Oh man, I just wish for Marlo just all his dreams of how he wants to be and who he wants to be to just come to fruition and manifest in his life. And if that's a super sober Marlo bringing out a new record, then hell yeah, I'm all about it too.
Seeing him now and the journey that he's gone through to come back, yeah, I'm proud, and I think it's made him a better person as well. All struggles, you either let it beat you down or you shake it off and you just come back. Yeah, and that's what he's done.
When you consider the last few years that he's been through, he's gone and taken all that pain and rage and love and thinking and put it into this new music, and it's just, poof, it's awesome.
I actually love myself because I'm here and I'm not where I was 3 years ago, which seems so impossible, you know, to be here and be clean and be healthy, getting my career on track and finding the things that I love about life. It's impossible for me to go back to who I used to be, knowing what I know now.
They say Scribe is dead and he ain't never coming back, G. He just disappeared into thin air straight from the rap scene. No one even cares and now he's done and it's a rap beat. Yeah, he's over, washed up has been. And they say he's a beathead piper, drug addict, a crack fiend. They say he ain't shit, he'll never make it out the trap beat. Please don't post me in your stories, mentions and don't at me. Y'all said I done fallen off somewhere lost on a back street. Nah, homie, working every day at practice on the track, deep like black cleats on the feet of an athlete. Run the track, never catch me on the rap beat, never match me, no. Check the stat sheets, actually, I left you on captain. I body whole track team, better tell your family, I guess it's plan B. Into that dream, whatever that means, cause you don't know me very well. You know that I done made it through like every hell. And understand that I ain't here living no fairy tale, boy.